So this is my current audio setup. I've got the Shure SM7B mounted on a boom arm here, and that's plugged into the Audient Evo 4 interface with an SE-DM1 for some extra gain. Then for the headphones, I'm using the Sennheiser IE300s, which are really premium IEMs. Pretty overkill setup, I'll admit, but for what I use it for, which is streaming, gaming, and editing, the quality that this delivers is really insane. How different is all of that though compared to one of the best gaming headsets on the market? This is something that I've always wanted to test out. I mean, as good as all of this is, it's not something that I can just recommend to every single one of you. It's expensive, first of all, and second of all, not everyone wants, all of these moving parts. This is a much simpler and cleaner all-in-one solution. So what I did was I grabbed two of the most popular, raved about gaming headsets at the moment, the HyperX Cloud 2s as a bit of a budget option, and the Sennheiser and Drop PC38Xs, which is what most people will say is about as premium as you'd want to go for gaming audio.
Alright, so I want to start off here with the HyperX Cloud 2s. Now, right off the bat, these are actually a very comfortable pair of headphones, or headset rather, which I was not expecting given the price point, but in terms of clamping force and the way the headband sits on my head, it's just overall really comfortable. In terms of microphone quality, definitely a big step back from what I'm used to. Definitely sounds quite compressed, but at the same time, for a headset that you can get for like $60, I don't think many of us are complaining, and I think maybe that's why this is a pretty popular option. I'll also say that the dynamic range of the microphone is actually not too bad. So if I talk really loud like this, and if I'm talking really quiet like this, the actual volume of the microphone isn't too different. So that at least is pretty good to see at this price point. I mean, if you need to kind of yell in game, things are getting pretty heated, you at least know that your microphone is not going to clip. So comfort's good, microphone quality is okay. I mean, it's passable for the price point. But the audio quality is just like super high frequency driven, put it that way. It sounds kind of bad if you were just listening to it from a normal headphone perspective. I think the reason they've done this is because typically good gaming audio and hearing footsteps and stuff like that is a bit more of those mid to high frequency ranges, and that's what they've really tried to boost in this headset. But it really does come at the cost of enjoyment and fun. It's just almost fatiguing, I would say, because I mean, you shoot a gun like an R99 in Apex and it sounds really flat, really just tinny and rattly almost. But let's see how this thing performs in game.
Damn, that helps heaps.
Hello?
Yeah, man, I just
Hello.
Can you hear me?
most of the OCE.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Nice. Oh, TTV, you a streamer?
I'm just learning how to use Pathfinder.
They're probably so weirded out, like, wait, this guy's talking way too much.
Yeah,
I'm probably
fine.
muted at this point. Let's see how the wingman sounds on these. Oh.
Yeah.
A lot of heavy ammo.
It's like clapping two pieces of wood together. That's kind of how it sounds through these.
Give me.
Reloading. Enemy down.
Better give it to
Yeah, the sound signature of these, definitely a big change from what I'm used to. But kind of getting used to them. Overall, just very flat, not very involving, not very engaging. Do you really need that in a competitive sort of headset? I don't know. I do feel like I'm missing some audio cues though.
Down an enemy.
GG race.
GG. We did it, guys. We got a GG.
Next up though, we have a gaming headset which a lot of people are calling, one of the greatest options that you can currently buy at the moment. These are the Drop and Sennheiser PC38Xs. They are yellow on the side here and on the capsule, but you can actually buy a blackout version as well. And I think we can all agree that the microphone quality is so much better on this pair. I mean, this is what going from, say, around the $60 mark up to the $200 mark will get you. The increase in quality from the HyperX Cloud 2s up to these, it really is like a really steep increase. Like, it might be like a $140 difference, but you are definitely getting your money's worth in terms of microphone quality. And then when it comes to the audio quality, that too is just insanely superior. Like,
we're now getting that full body of audio. Like, you can now actually hear some bass and quite a lot of mids. And you're also not losing too much of that detail and those high frequencies as well. I mean, if I really had to nitpick, I would say that the mids are maybe brought a little bit too forward. Maybe they're kind of clouding that detail. But again, that's really being nitpicky. And I guess just coming off the Cloud 2s, it's like really noticeable to have that bass response back and just have that full depth and full body of audio. Like, when you shoot these targets, you can really hear that like rotate and flip noise. Like, obviously that's not going to be an essential part of like competitive FPS, but like, what if that was a grenade hitting the floor, or like what if that was an ultimate landing next to you? Like, that kind of audio frequency is still important in my opinion. It really is like a night and day difference here between the Cloud 2s and the 38Xs. I know they're not exactly in the same price category. $60 versus $200 is quite different for a lot of people, but man, you are definitely getting your money's worth. One thing that I will say about the microphone, which I am not a big fan of, is that it does seem to pick up quite a lot of breathing noise, which is really unfortunate. I don't think that they've, shielded the capsule good enough in terms of like, preventing wind noise and whatnot. What I've done here is just to like angle it outwards a little bit, which means that as a result, it does pick up less, like, I guess, lower quality audio from your voice. Something that I would actually highly recommend setting up for the PC38Xs is a noise gate, just to prevent a lot of that breathing noise and whatnot. This microphone, as good as the quality is compared to the Cloud 2s, it's not that good when it comes to noise rejection. I'll also note that, these being open back headphones, they do produce a slightly wider soundstage compared to closed back headphones. So most gaming headsets these days are closed back. The sound is just going to feel like it's coming from a smaller bubble around your head compared to open back, which kind of creates this sense of audio space around you, which is slightly larger. Does that make a difference when it comes to like competitive gaming, stuff like that? Maybe it can help a little bit when it comes to like immersion. I don't think it's going to dramatically affect how you can like pinpoint footsteps and stuff like that, which is like how Soundstage is marketed these days, but it definitely does help, at least feeling a little bit more immersed in the game. I feel like what Sennheiser has been able to package here in a $200 audio product, it's really quite good. For gaming, I really don't think you need more than this. Alright, we win those. Nice. GG's, boys. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, good carry, boys.
And then of course to finish this up, we have the $1,000 audio setup. Here's an idea of how much better this microphone sounds compared to the tiny little capsule microphones that you'll find on gaming headsets. And I think we'd agree it is a world of difference. This isn't necessarily something that you'd buy purely for gaming. I think it's quite overkill in that regard, especially when you consider the fact that, in-game audio and TeamSpeak is quite compressed anyway, and this audio is just going to get crunched down quite a bit. If you're using something like TeamSpeak or Discord, that's going to be a different story. You'll get a much fuller sound there. This is really a microphone that you'd use for streaming, recording, that sort of stuff. And then in terms of the Sennheiser IE300 IEMs, these are the best IEMs I've tried, full stop. Best headphones I've tried actually, even when you compare to HD 58Xs. I've tried the HD 600, 650s. I much prefer the sound that I'm getting from these IEMs. Just sounds a lot more full, a lot more impactful, and when it comes to gaming, it also sounds a little bit more realistic as well. Like you're getting the full spectrum of color, and not just say boosted mids, boosted highs, for example. Maybe a bit boosted when it comes to the bass, but it's still at the point where it sounds like a realistic. And the bass is not so much a sound, it's more of a feel with these IEMs. You can really feel when your bullets are connecting, that sort of stuff. You can really feel when an ultimate goes off, when a grenade goes off.
Reloading. Enemy down.
Yeah, these IEMs, they have a particular quality where you just feel the bullets. You just feel when it's connecting more. And that, especially on the Cloud 2s, I just did not have that kind of feedback. Like these grenades that are going off in front of me, for example, with the IEMs, you can just really feel the space changing. You know, just as if like in real life, you would feel that air pressure changing. So for gaming audio, I think it's clear here that spending more money does buy you a more premium experience, and it scales like most product markets out there. There's typically a sweet spot, in this case around the $200 mark, which gets you about 80% of the way there. Then the more you spend, sure, things get a little bit better, but at the cost of diminishing returns. And actually what I was really surprised to see here was how much better the Sennheiser PC38Xs were compared to the HyperX Cloud 2s. I understand that they are in completely different kind of product tiers, $60 versus about $200, but for that $140 difference, you are getting an insanely different product here. So for example, if you are in a position where you can just save up a little bit more and get the 38Xs instead of the Cloud 2s, that is what I would recommend if it doesn't put too much of a dent in your budget. I also really like that the PC38Xs have a built-in mute switch for the microphone just by rotating it upwards. That's really nice, as well as a built-in volume knob on the right-hand side. Definitely features that I'd see myself and others using. Now, if you are looking to take things a step further, streaming and recording for example, that's where additional money invested is money well spent. Although there's definitely diminishing returns, the sound quality that you can get out of a Shure SM7B compared to the tiny capsule microphones on gaming headsets is in also a completely different league. Now, whether the better headphones will allow you to hear better in-game, that's really up for debate. In my opinion, most of that comes down to the actual game audio implementation. As much as I love my IE300s and the impact and feedback that I get from them, and honestly these just sound so good, I don't think that it makes me a competitively better player than the PC38Xs. Although I do think the 38Xs do have a much more fuller and accurate sound compared to the Cloud 2s. With the Cloud 2s, I do feel like I am actually missing out on some sound frequencies. So hopefully you found this video helpful or at least interesting to watch. As always, a huge thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.